looks to be pointing in the wrong direction, doesn't it?
Pointing at my feet.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's all right.
Yeah,
Just getting a... All right, oh, lovely. Right, we're off to visit Barnard Castle.
Itself.
I know we're at Barnard Castle at the moment.
Yeah, the actual castle we're going to, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, the castle that the town takes its name from, and the campsite takes its name from. Late arrivals there.
The weather seems to have changed on us a bit, hasn't it? It's only 12 degrees at the moment.
Feels like the summer's over, doesn't it?
Perhaps it'll come back. That often happens, doesn't it?
Yeah. Also show you where the castle actually is, I suppose. Little narrow bridge that we came over. You can see how narrow this is, can't you?
Yeah.
There's the castle. Historic market town.
We have parked here before, I think, and along here.
Yeah, we'll park here if you want, shall we?
Yeah.
Since we're early, we'll have a little walk into the town, can't we? Yeah, there's plenty of parking here.
I think we went in here, didn't we?
Well, this pub here?
Yeah. With Glyn.
Okay.
She's going in already.
Yeah, we're not going in yet, it's a bit early, even for us. Curious what this is like. In a town hall, a courtroom, lockup and fire station. And the 1930s farmer's wife sold dairy produce around the veranda, hence the term butter
market. Right.
Stairs going up. Right, just wanted to know what it was what it was. Yeah, lots of sort of antique shops here. Oh, I'm not sure that's antiques, but another old-looking pub here. Golden Lion. So this is the Gallgate. There is parking here as well. If you want to go a little bit further into the town.
There's the castle, isn't it, back there?
The castle's back there, yeah. I'm just going to kill some time. Commercial hotel. Little portrait shop. Get your portrait done there, perhaps?
Yeah, probably.
And coach and horses. That's how they're dog friendly.
Yeah, the one back there said it was as well.
Yeah. And for a glass of two, you know, it makes sense. Golden Gate Chop Suey House. Fish and chips. Right, we'll cross over here. Go on. A bit of a hardware shop here. Right. Yeah, and there's a pay and display down there, isn't there?
That's
next to
right.
Morrison's.
Near Morrison's, yeah.
So there we are. We're in the marketplace, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
On Gallgate.
We came across the bridge. We parked somewhere along there.
Yeah, we walk round here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the castle's behind.
There's the church. We're going to make our way over there.
Yep.
Right. Over here, Pops. To the castle. There is some walks around here, isn't there?
That's right, down by the river. There's quite a steep path down, if I remember.
Yeah, so there's a Barnard Castle. Bernard's Castle. Other way around. Let's just see what that looks like then. There. Looks to be pointing in the wrong direction, doesn't it?
Pointing at my feet.
Yeah.
You open it 10.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
Yeah,
just
it's
getting
all
a,
right.
Toilet
getting
roll
a.
for the toilet.
All right, no, lovely. Oh, it's important stuff.
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
Right, so a bit of history. Barnard Castle was begun soon after 1093 on a dramatic site above the River Tees. Castle was built to control a river crossing between the Bishop of Durham's territory and the Honour of Richmond. Much of the present castle was built during the 12th and early 13th century by the Balliol family. Clifftop Inner Ward shows the remains of a fine domestic building, including a magnificent round tower, about 1200.
Yeah, so we can see the tower over there, can't we?
Yeah. From the 14th century onwards, the castle belonged to the Earls of Warwick, and from 1471 to 1485 to the Duke of Gloucester, later Richard III. After a fierce siege in 1569, when the castle was bombarded by rebels, the castle went into steep decline and was effectively abandoned by the early 17th century.
Nice.
It remained an imposing ruin ever since.
Yeah, okay. Right. The gates are now open.
Yeah, so where it gets its name from is the Guy de Balliol died in 1133 and was succeeded by his nephew Bernard, from whom the castle and town derived their name.
So it's really Barnard Castle.
Yeah, yeah,
Or Bernard's Castle.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a little while since we've been here. I think it was about 2 years ago we came here.
Well, I think it's longer than that. I think
Yeah.
it's about 5 years.
Yeah. Right, I think we're actually on our own at the moment. And just making our way round. That must have been the gate to the town there, wasn't it?
That's right. Well, these are like the original town walls, aren't
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so it's a naturally strong defensive position above the River Tees, one of the largest in the north of England. So the ownership of Barnard Castle passed to the Earls of Warwick, and they held it for nearly 2 centuries. It came into the possession of Richard, Duke of Gloucester, who, as you all know, became Richard III.
they? That's the link with Middleham Castle, isn't it, Richard
Yeah,
III?
yeah. That's what it would have looked like in the mid-14th century. We're in the town ward here, apparently. This is where the townsfolk would have come if there would have been a number of barns and probably shops as well, I suppose. So the main north gate is the only entrance today, but it was only a subsidiary gate in the Middle Ages. There was a guard room on each side of the passage, and windows above show that there was a room on the first floor.
Oh, yeah.
Up there. Yeah, linked with Scotland. So Balliol family became very powerful in the 12th and 13th century. In 1282, John Balliol's wife, Devorgulia, gave the charter and endowments for the foundation of Balliol College at Oxford, and their son John became King of Scotland. But in 1296 he was defeated in battle by Edward I and forfeited his castles and estates.
That's why it
Remember
passed
that
to
from
the
Braveheart, didn't you?
Yeah, well, that's why it passed to the Earl of Warwick's then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The lady at the office said yesterday there were 400 people here.
Yeah.
So a difference the schools going back makes.
Yeah, yeah. It was a bank holiday, wasn't it? We
Yeah.
had 400 people here.
Yeah. It's the outer walls, obviously. That's Constable Tower over there.
Yeah, the castle had a constable, didn't it?
And over there is the castle proper. She wants to get on, doesn't she?
Right, we're off.
See you later. Oh, that's right. You can walk down underneath the bridge here.
That's
can't you?
right, yeah.
It's very, very quiet here at the moment. Right, so this is the middle ward, which was known as Many Gates because it linked the 3 other wards of the castle. So there's fortified entry area or barbican area through which every visitor had to pass in order to get to the inner ward, as well as its defensive role. It also contained buildings such as stables and accommodation for some of the castle's officers. Do you want to read the rest of
just
it?
saying that the outer ward, this was the largest of the 4 wards and contained the market gate, which was the main entrance to the castle from the town. Within the outer ward was there was a farm and also the chapel of St Margaret, which housed the tombs of the Balliol family.
All right.
And then in the mid-14th century, it was in the ownership of Thomas Beauchamp, Earl of Warwick.
Yeah.
During this period, most of the outer wall was abandoned, apart from the chapel, and the town ward had at least one of its buildings pulled down.
Okay, so there would have been more walls along there then, I suppose.
Yeah. And then a large building was constructed in here, possibly to replace the buildings such as the stable and brew houses abandoned in the outer wards. In this way, the castle was reduced almost entirely to the middle and inner wards, so it became smaller and cheaper to run.
Okay. So, that was it there, wasn't it? Yeah.
Take it that's him.
Sorry?
Take it that's Thomas Beauchamp.
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 But probably all got it
All
completely wrong. I was thinking of Beau, like Beaumont again.
Yeah. Well, is it a bow or a bew? So this is the Constable Tower, which controlled the main entrance to the middle ward from the outer ward. Less than half of the gate tower survives, but it's clear that it was square with an entrance passage flanked by guard rooms on the ground floor, and above there were at least 2 further stories. Under the southern portion of the surviving gate tower you can see a pair of arched culverts which drained the moat between the middle and outer wards.
Yeah, see them down there. Right down the bottom there.
Yeah. Go on then, Bubs. Let's get going. Oh, fantastic views here. Look at this. Yeah, so you can see the road we came in on.
Yep.
And over there, the River Tees.
Where that motorhome is where we came down, wasn't it? So this is just sort of showing it from the early 12th century with Guy de Balliol, then mid-12th, late, and then that's where we get Beau's from, isn't it?
Yeah, Sir George Beau's dated. There we are, dated 1572. So this is the inner ward, so this is the core of the castle.
That's right.
And was a stronghold and place of residence for the Balliols and their successors. In the Middle Ages it was known as the donjon or keep. In 1439, after the death of Richard Beauchamp, Earl of Warwick, the castle began to decline and eventually passed to Richard III in 1483 and remained in royal hands till 1603.
And that's when it started to be abandoned, wasn't it?
Well, it was
17th
before
century.
then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an impressive looking place. The castle itself is quite small, isn't it? But
yeah. Believe it or not, that's the Great Ditch.
It says the inner ward was separated from the middle ward by the Great Ditch, and it was a formidable defensive feature dug in the 12th century when the stone walls were built around the inner ward. It replaced an earlier and smaller ditch, and immediately below there's a small sally port with portcullis. There was a shortcut to the river and enabled the bridge across the river to be rapidly defended in times of danger. And in front of you, the high wall on the far end of the Great Ditch is a continuation of the barrier between the middle and town wards, and you can still see the holes in the ward, which are the remnants of timber staging for scaffolding used during building. And the modern bridge is on the site of the 14th century access to the inner ward. There can we see the scaffolding holes. There we are, there's one.
Quite some bridge that, isn't it, down there?
Oh wow. Building some new houses over there.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind living in one of those, looking at the castle.
Yeah, you can look at the castle all day, Pops.
Yeah, I wish you'd keep wanting to go round. Careful there.
And that's the sally port. And the Great Ditch.
Poppy?
Pops? What are we waiting for, eh? Shall we get going? Which way now?
At least she'd go up there.
All right, it's the steps, isn't it? Go on.
I know, she's got way ahead of me.
Always feel like Poppy's looking at us as if to say, well, come on, what are we waiting for? It says it was at least 5 stories high and acted as a lookout tower. Only its west wall remains, but it was built in the 14th century at the same time as the Great Hall. The tower stood above the service areas which separated the Great Hall from the kitchen range. Remains of passages and storerooms, a butter and pantry can still be seen. Presumably, that was all the stores and things in there. Come on, I've got to go up the tower now. Yeah. Yeah. Have a look at the Great Hall. Hang on, Pots. Let's go to read the board. Poppy, can we read the board, please? So I said great halls belonging to various phases of the castle stood here. The building you see marked out, that one. So that would have been sort of there, wouldn't it? Yeah. The building you see marked out was constructed by Thomas Beauchamp around 1330, when the domestic buildings of the inner ward were modernised. Great hall was used for formal occasions. It probably had a hearth in the centre of the floor and chimneys or smoke vents through the roof. It would have been entered from the courtyard through a main door at the service end to your left. The Lord's dining table would have been at the opposite end. The two large windows in front of us are 14th century but set in recesses which may be the remains of 12th century arrow loops. Some of the above the right-hand windows you can see some joist holes which suggest there may have been a gallery at the end of the hall. So this is the undercroft. And so the floor of the round tower was used for storage and domestic use. There's a garderobe or latrine in the passage behind us, a fireplace and a well. Originally undercroft had 3 small arrow loops which gave covering fire to the base of the tower. They're still in their original form, but the central one has been converted into a rectangular opening. Access to the upper floor is by a stair in the thickness of the wall and through a small chamber. Where are you going? Must be up here. No? Where are you? Where are you, Jane?
Up here.
All right. Oh, there you are.
You come from down there?
I came from down there. And I'm up here now. Come on, you. I could hear barking, I couldn't see where it was coming from. Oh wow, look at this.
This is the round tower, would you believe?
So cool. It's a wonder how some of it's still standing, isn't it?
Yeah, 15th, 16th century.
So it says the round tower is the most distinctive part of the whole castle layout, cylindrical, 4 floors high, and linked to the adjacent buildings in the inner ward. Spaces between the tower and the other buildings were used to connect chambers, passages and stairs. And on this floor was a main private chamber. There's 2 windows as an arrow loop, but the other set in a recess appears to have been a double round-headed window within a round-headed arch. The style dates from the 12th century, with 2 garderobes and a large fireplace in the chamber. Second floor is less elaborate, was brought into domestic use in the 15th or 16th century. Third floor is even more Spartan, probably because it was used as a guard room. It's just starting to rain.
Poppy, come here, come on. No. You're coming in here.
Yeah, it was quite a view, wasn't it? Watch people coming over the bridge. See what was going on. This is the great chamber. Yes, this chamber, together with the round quarters, was the private quarters of the lords of Barnard Castle. The original purpose of the room below is not known, however it was surrounded by other buildings, could never receive much light from outside, and you could still see the remains of a large fireplace on the north wall. So you're standing at first floor level, the floor contained the main domestic apartment, which was more prestigious and comfortable than the ground floor. In the late middle period it was converted into a long gallery suitable for indoor exercise. The oriel window behind you was added during the ownership of Richard III, and in the roof of this window you can see a large stone which has a faint carving of a boar, a motif associated with Richard III. Excavations has also revealed that the foundations for a bay window at the opposite end of the building. So can we see the boar? So we think the carving is there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very faded. Yeah.
Yeah. You can see more the bit at the bottom, can't you? The curly bits, that.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. It would have looked like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like that now. And the tower almost looks like it's built out of breeze block, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? Very neat.
Here we are. I'm here. Come on then.
You get really worried you're crying at one point.
You are silly. Come on, I'm just up the tower.
Of course, you didn't know that.
Look, this is the bakehouse.
Not down there.
Site of the bakehouse, which is kept separate from other buildings because of the risk of fire. You still see a stone-lined pit, which was a water cistern, and the remains of a simple oven over there. The slight bank on which the bakehouse stands is all that remains of the original earthwork defences of the inner ward. So that's why there's a climb up there. These walls were flattened off and a stone curtain wall containing arrow lopes was built on it. What are you up to?
I was thinking that's like one of those wells in Assassin's Creed, you know, you have to go and get a bomb to
Get down
break
there.
the top.
I'm not going down there.
No,
Another one here.
there's always a chest at the bottom.
Yeah. I don't know, Pops, what's in there then, hey? Now, this is a fabulous castle, it's well worth a visit. Especially on a nice quiet day. Go down the ditch. These wooden steps feel a bit dodgy. Come on, Pops, up here. Come on, you go up there. Come on, come here. Poppy, come here.
That was quite a good one, I think.
Here we are, back at the top. Yeah, people are starting to come in now.
Yep.
It always pays to come early.
I know. That's the dovecot.
Dovecot. Yeah, it's a square tower. It was probably built in the early 12th century, at the same time as the curtain wall. Inside there are rows of nesting boxes for doves or pigeons, which was used as fresh food and eggs for the castle. You want some dove eggs? Oop. Bobby's going in. So this is the Brackenbury Tower. So it says the floor was used not only as a storeroom but living quarters, since it contained a fireplace, garderobe and two small cupboards. It may have been a dark room as there's only one surviving window, although there were further windows in the ruined wall to my left. Oh, there would have been windows here. The wall also contained the main door. The original access to the floor above was by a staircase in the thickness of the wall behind you. Would have been up there. Well, built in the late 12th century, the tower is possibly named after Sir Robert Brackenbury, who was Lieutenant of the Tower of London during the reign of Richard III. A bit dark in here. Is Poppy panicking?
Yeah, every time you go out of view.
I'm here. Don't worry. Come on, we'll go up the top. Go on. Poppy.
She's gone.
Hey?
I don't know where she's gone then.
Careful there. Careful. Go on.
It's a little window seat.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. But some that little window seat there.
Don't bother to sit down.
Yeah. Hello.
No, just this one. Here.
You all right?
Yep.
I don't think we've explored this quite so much before.
No, I don't think we have. I think because we've been here with a lot of people. And
Yeah. This is the curtain wall, the outer wall of the castle. Along with an outer ditch, it formed the first line of defence. In this corner of the town ward, the wall survives almost to its full height and contains 3 complete arrow loops. All these have round-headed arches and wide splayed recesses in which archers could stand. And there's a 4th arrow loop which has since been blocked up. The earth rampart on which you're standing may be an original feature, and the joist holes in the wall suggest that sometime there were buildings here.
yes.
Obviously joist holes there, aren't they? Presumably they would have had a ladder to get up to that. Or maybe that was on, maybe there's a roof or something below it. Alright, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. We enjoyed it.
We did, yeah.
Yeah. Pity about the weather, but you can't have everything. At least it didn't chuck it down.
No.
No.
Everywhere's pretty dry still as well, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you did, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, consider subscribing. It really helps the channel. doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does. Yes. Sorry, I'm mesmerised by the camera down there. Sorry.
Yeah, why?
You
Well, you're
always tell
looking
me
at the
to look
camera for a change.
camera.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm looking at it.
That's good.
Yeah.
So we'll see you soon then.
Yeah. Bye then.